Well, hello there, and welcome to that Fantasy American Football podcast with myself, the Commish, and my two pumped up co-hosts, the Statman and the Fantasy Villain. How are you doing today, lads?
Hey, Commish. Yeah, doing really good, actually. It's nice to see that you guys have caught up temperature-wise, hitting that mighty 30 degrees of what I've got. So, nice, enjoying it here.
I am 96% freckle at the moment. Villain, have you hit 100% freckle yet?
You know what? I've been really good. I'm on the factor 50, baseball cap where I can, air-conditioned bar most of my time. And then the north-facing side of the house is where we do most of the hanging out. And the sun's on the south side of the house. So I'm killing it. I'm doing great. There's no sunburn. It all looks pretty normal.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the freckle line. For those on YouTube, get to see a freckle line, and then my Chemical Millhouse. So before we go into today, I actually want to put everything aside and talk about something kind of football. Go talk about soccer ball. We're in England and other technically European countries, so we are following the soccer ball for the Euro Championships. And on Saturday, something that we have seen in foot sport before did occur. Shocking to see Christian Eriksen just collapse in the middle of the field. Probably one of the biggest things that I've seen in sport. I mean, overall, the championships haven't been great, but that is just something that you never want to see. So not that he's going to listen, maybe a big football fan, maybe a huge fan, but thoughts to him and his family, because that was just brutal to see someone have a cardiac arrest in the middle of the pitch. Mad props to first responders and football players who knew CPR. So message to come out of that. Learn CPR. It will save somebody's life at some point. Don't want to start a downer, but I didn't want to not recognise it because it's the number one talking point for most of us at the moment is what happened in the soccer ball. I don't know. Felt right to say something. We can move on to more interesting things now. I don't know if you lads want to say anything about it, but
no, 100% agree with you there. Learn CPR. It's easy. Staying alive. Do it in the rhythm. Push down on the chest, doesn't matter where. Anywhere on the chest, just get going.
Yeah, keep that heart pumping until someone can get there to fix it. I mean, if it wasn't for the captain of the Danish team, Christian Eriksen probably wouldn't have made it because it needed that quick reaction before the medical team could get there in order for things to happen. And that was a teammate, a friend of his, doing something so incredible. Like, God knows what he was thinking when he was doing it, what was going through his head. But he did the absolute right thing. And I think it's actually disgusting that they were made to play a game after that because I wouldn't want to do it. So
no, that was shocking. But we're going to move on from that. Today's show is our early PPR rankings show. But a quick reminder before we go into that to follow us on Twitter at TFAFP, especially if you want to kind of gouge at some of the topic areas today, because the Statman looks after the Twitter, and these are his rankings. You can also go on Instagram via that FAF podcast. The Villain is ramping it up in the build up to the season, so there's more sexy content coming that way. And also, you want to follow it ahead of September, where the Villain will be in Foxborough. I imagine the stories are going to be banging from there.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be so many pictures of me putting poos on various things in Foxborough Stadium. My own poo. Oh, I see there's a Lombardi trophy there. Be shame if there was some poo on it.
Also, remember, subscribe to us wherever you're listening to us, wherever you've discovered us. Give us a like, a ranking, anything you want to give on us. Tell us where you discovered us from. Share the news with your friends, and subscribe on the YouTubes. We had a video do quite well recently, which was our mock draft, and we want to know what you want to do. Hopefully, the rankings will do quite well. But it's any way you can stay up to date and catch up with us. Join us for the build-up of the season and all of our shenanigans in the build-up. So, but before we go into today's proper ranking show, we're going to take a deep dive into Statman's early PPR redraft rankings. It's time for some news. Julio!
Where did he go?
Julio has come to the place where he had to go. Julio Jones is a Tennessee Titan. The mad thing is, it costs less to get Julio Jones this year than it would have to bring Corey Davis back.
And the man lost a block, so he's gone to the right place.
I mean, I genuinely, you can't say anything to take the hit. I am obviously, as a Tennessee Titans fan, way too excited about this. I'm really hoping it's not a Randy Moss situation, because that's a man who should never have been in a Titans jersey, just for the sake of his career.
Well, a Randy Moss for the Patriots is what you're after. That's the situation. That's the one you want.
Yep. And as the Patriots light, I think we're owed that. So I'm going to throw it over to you two. What do you think this means for fantasy, for Tannehill, Derrick Henry, AJ Brown, Julio himself? And then if you want to talk about the Falcons, who cares? Go talk about the Falcons. But for the Titans and fantasy, I don't draft Titan players anyway, so it's not going to affect me fantasy-wise. But how do you feel about AJ or Julio or Derrick or Ryan or Anthony Ferks, the turkey?
I'll go in with all of the above. So Ryan Tannehill, this is great news for him. Who doesn't like a quarterback having more weapons? Never bad to have more things out there for them to throw the ball to. For AJ Brown, I could see this being an AJ Brown Julio kind of situation where Ryan Tannehill splits it. Julio's going to keep people busy, but obviously you can't neglect AJ Brown after the season he had last year. So people are just going to be really, really busy with the two of them. Opens up a lot for Anthony Ferguson. I love the sound of Anthony Ferguson last year on my dynasty team as well. Derrick Henry, I think it's irrelevant. His game will not change in any way. It just gives them a lot more options. I'll tell you who I'm really excited for, Kyle Pitts. Yes.
I was waiting for the Kyle Pitts type to go. Apparently, according to recent reports, they are force feeding him targets in practice. It is the Kyle Pitts.
Oh, that sounds so bad. Oh, I hate this news.
So interestingly enough, I think it's great for Derrick Henry because you can't sell out to stop the run now because you've got two wide receivers there. You can't sell out to stop one wide receiver because the other one will punish you. The turkeys then are going to do fantastically across the middle, so I'm big up on Ferkser there. I don't see a negative for anyone not named Josh Reynolds or Racy McMath or Drake Fitzpatrick. They like now.
Can you just stop making names up now?
Hey, Racy McMath is.
Old catchy but catch face.
Hey, you look out for Racy McMath. Statman, what does it mean for the Falcons, though? Obviously, the villain's hype for Pitts, but there are other people that are getting a bump because Julio's left town.
No, not a bump. Even Ridley, I wouldn't bump up Ridley. I think Ridley is a kind of that wide receiver one sort of target share anyway. And I think you're really looking at bumps for the likes of Gage. You're looking at Pitts. That's where the targets are going to go. I don't think Ridley's going to get any more than what he's already getting, which is a fuckload of targets anyway. So I don't think he gets the bump. As a case, he may see a slight rise in targets as well. But just with the coaching staff, we talked about it a couple of weeks back as to who's going in there. And I think the actual amount of attempts is going to come down. I think they're going to run it a lot more anyway. So I think it kind of comes down like that. Yeah. Anyone that might be a Mike Davis owner, they could be quite pleased. I don't know. I can't think of anyone right now who might be interested.
Villain, Atlanta Falcons high five through Zoom. Yay! Yeah.
Pitts is the one that interests me.
That is the first time and last time I will ever high five the Atlanta Falcons as a whole.
Pitts is fascinating. As Ben had already said, it's we don't know really what we're going to get out of him. He's an absolute freak. They're force feeding him targets. Is it going to work? Is it not? Rookie tight ends don't usually do that great. Look, I think the last one to actually get over 1,000 yards was Mike Ditka. So 1961. That's going way back. The last one that actually did quite well was Evan Ingram.
I'll tell you the difference. Kyle Pitts is 12'4".
Yeah, God.
About 400 pounds of muscle. and can catch the ball like any elite wide receiver. He's a matchup nightmare. That hasn't been drafted from a tight end perspective in a very, very long time. I guess Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski, but being drafted the same year to the same team doesn't exactly help their situation for them as a rookie. But if the Pats drafted one of them and not both, I feel like one of them would have gone over 1,000 yards quite easily in their rookie year.
It'll be interesting to see. So the average is around about 600 yards. Yes, 600 odd yards.
He cannot believe the fact
he can't believe that I'm only saying 600.
You know what he is? He's a member of the Dog Pound. He's upset that David Njoku's been disrespected because he was drafted.
We haven't mentioned the Browns at all.
Oh, yeah. So, I guess I could easily see him pushing out 700 to 800. If he gets 1,000, wow, that's amazing. But 700 to 800 yards from Pitts, I wouldn't be surprised.
I've got him on my rankings that we don't publish because we all lean on the Statman's rankings. On my personal one side field, I've got him teetering around that 8-9 touchdown range as well.
Yeah.
Because I do think that there's we have to start talking about the villain's trousers. Can't hold this in. So,
I'm sorry. I feel like you missed a couple of zeros up there. The 80 to 90 mark is what you were saying for touchdowns. 80 to 90 touchdowns this year.
No, I've got him with more touchdowns than Mike Davis, unfortunately. So I think they're going to pass a lot around the goal line.
What have I got? I've got 60 catches of 70 to 80 targets, 775. Receiving yards, 6 TDs. So why not? Why not?
I don't hate these numbers.
Yeah, it's good. Good numbers. Good numbers for a rookie, man.
He is almost tacked on to be a top 4 tight end in my eyes now, which is amazing for him. In the only other bit of news, I was going to title this news. We still have no fucking idea where this guy is, which is a famous line for basketball. But Aaron Rodgers is not going to be attending minicamp. You know what he's doing? He's warming up for his golf match against Tom Brady because of course he is. That's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is living. You know what? He don't give a fuck.
Is it not Peyton and Brady versus Rodgers and Eli?
No, it's Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady versus Chef Boyardee and Aaron Rodgers. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Chef Boyardee.
Yeah, I can't remember his
Probably
name.
Probably someone like Dustin Johnson or
no. He's got a fancy
Johnson.
Frenchy.
Do you not think that's a bit bullshit that Tom Brady gets a golf buddy? And Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has got one as well, but he's not a chef.
The Swedish chef.
Hang on. He's with Bryson DeChambeau.
DeChambeau. Any golf fans out there, let me know if that's good.
He went viral for getting pissed off that someone walks behind him. That's all I know about him.
The scandal.
So that's what Aaron Rodgers is doing. We will keep you updated. At the moment, Devontae and Aaron Jones really want him back, and I think
and the Green Bay front office keeps saying more fucking stupid shit to make him not want to come back.
Hey, Jordan Love is improving day on day.
I'm great. He'll be MVP in no time.
I'm sure we will see Jordan Love in the Statman's early PPR rankings, which is what we're going to talk about next. So,
if you look a long way down.
If you really fucking look hard.
Scroll to the bottom, you'll find them.
So, a heads up on how this show is going to work. The villain and I are going to pick a player each position that we think is either rated too high or too low from the Statman's ranking. Then we will grill him on why he has ranked them there. He has no idea who we are going to select. In fact, he has not even seen this show doc.
I haven't. I didn't even know what the format was. So thanks for sharing.
That's all right. Surprise! Surprise!
He's actually the same colour as my face.
So, for anybody else who wants to follow along and have their own opinions, the rankings will be live on the website roughly around the time that this is published, depending on what. So we'll be looking. By the end of this week, we're having some technical competency difficulties.
Going back to full-time work really hasn't been my friend.
But they'll be online by the end of this week. So you can listen to this, you could dive into the rankings yourself. But one person each, one position, and then we're going to ask the Statman to, tell me why. That's what we're asking today. So, Villain, do you want to go first with the quarterback that you would like the Statman to tell us why? I'm going to keep doing that, by the way.
Yes, surprisingly, this is a quarterback that I believe the Statman has ranked too high, and it's Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we
really?
got Jalen Hurts. Yeah, we've got Jalen Hurts at number 7, and I love Jalen Hurts. We all know I love Jalen Hurts. The issue I have with Jalen Hurts at 7 is everything going around him at Philly. So he's wide receiver 1, is fresh out of college, undersized, as we know, an immense talent, but we still don't know how that's going to translate into the game. He's going to be losing the tight end 1 on the team in Zach Ertz going. I know Dallas Goedert is ready to step up to the plate, but we haven't seen enough of Dallas Goedert being out there on his own as the lone tight end 1. It's fairly obvious Zach Ertz will not be there by the start of the season. Apart from the wide receiver 1 being Devonta Smith, Jalen Reagor didn't show a lot last year. And it's just, I just don't feel like all the pieces are there. But Jalen Hurts will look good. He'll run a lot. He'll get a lot of points on the ground running. I just don't think he's going to do as much as Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, or Ryan Tannehill on that list that I rank below him. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I'm just going to write him off the list. He ain't going to be there by the start of the season, in my opinion. But and Russell Wilson, the Seahawks is just, Russell Wilson will have the same situation that Jalen Hurts is in. He'll run around, he'll look busy, he'll look good, but it won't equate to much. So that's where my issue is there. Why do you have Jalen Hurts above someone like Brady, Stafford, Tannehill? And is it just because of the legs?
That's a lot to do with the legs, yeah. But it's based on all we've got is 4 games. There's nothing else that we can really look at from him other than college, where obviously it was pretty good. Not amazing, but it was pretty good. But we can base it on the 4 games that he had last year. And in 2 of those games, and bear in mind that the offense that he had was shocking. It was an absolute shit show. Anyway, everything that had been going on with Wentz up to that point, he comes in, he's had no off-season. It's all been the COVID restrictions. He comes in for those 4 games, and in 2 of those 4 games, he put up 300 yards with no receivers. I mean, when you've got the likes of Travis Fulgham out there, Reagor that didn't do a lot, you've got Goddard that was
my boy Greg Ward.
Wasn't even playing. Greg Ward. So I'm trying to think of who the receivers were, but he still put up 2 300-yard games. For fantasy points in 4 games that he got, it was 18 points, 35 points, 20 points, and 16 points. That's not a bad return for a quarterback that is learning on the fly. You then average that out over 17 games and what you get, and particularly with the rushing. So he managed 6 passing TDs, but the rushing TDs in 4 games, he got 3 rushing TDs, and he got a lot of yardage as well. So he got over 100 yards in one of the games, just for pure rushing. So when you kind of factor in the Lamar Jackson kind of comp, probably not as good a runner as him, but not far short. So whereas Lamar Jackson's probably in a 16 to 17 game season is around that 1,000-yard mark, Hurts is probably around the 600 to 700 mark, which isn't too far off the Kyler Murray kind of area. Now, he's not going to be as good a passer, I don't think, as Kyler Murray. So that's where it kind of drops down. So I think ECR has him around about rank 10. I think he could be just a little bit higher than that, dependent. He's now got a Heisman Trophy winner in there. He's familiar with him, so the passing could be quite good there. And that's why I have him in that area. Aaron Rodgers, clearly we don't know what's going to happen with him. It could be higher, it could be lower. Until we really know whether he's coming back to play or not, I kind of sticking him in the middle at the moment as to not really know what to do with him until later in the year. But I think he's probably going to have a better season than Russell Wilson. I think Russell's just a little bit on the decline now. So and he doesn't run as much. You talk about Wilson. Wilson runs around behind the O-line without really gaining the yardage. He's just there trying to get the pass off, and then ends up getting sacked because he's hit all the time. So he's not as attacking in the scrambling sort of a way that Hurts it. So Hurts will gain more yardage, and he is a threat at the goal line as well to score TDs. So that's why I have him in that area. So I don't have him too much higher than ECR, but not far off. I think he's got a chance.
I think you're mental. No, it's just
not that far off.
I think this. I can't get over the fact that I think this Eagles team is just going to be dog shit this year, and I know it's the wrong fan base to poke. So go cry into your New Balance trainers, your dad jeans whilst mowing your lawn, Eagles fans. Fuck you.
Throwing the defense. Well, that's the other thing. When you're thinking of fantasy purposes, you've got to take into the fact that he's going to have to pass it a lot because the defense is dog shit as well. They're going to be playing catch up all the time.
I think the defense somehow got worse.
So I don't necessarily think he's going to be a great quarterback, but I think for fantasy wise, then you could be laughing.
I think we're going to see a new interception record, and Joe Flacco is going to end up starting by the end of the season. Okay. I think the villain and I both think Hurts is out, and we're focusing on.
No. Don't get me wrong. I love Jalen Hurts. I do not think he's going to set an interception record. I think he's going to have a very similar season to Kyler Murray did last year. I think it's going to be along those lines. I just see someone like Tom Brady. That's a comfortable situation. Matt Stafford, I think Matt Stafford's going into a better situation than he was in. And I think Ryan Tannehill, we've discussed him enough already at the beginning of the show. My God, Commish, do not say Ryan Tannehill next.
No. Why isn't he QB1? So you're saying you think he's going to have as good a season as Kyler Murray last year? Now, Statman, if I'm not correct, last year Kyler Murray was QB1, right?
Sorry, I meant first year. I meant Kyler Murray's first year. Sorry. I meant Kyler Murray's first year.
His rookie season, yeah.
Yeah, because this to me is essentially Jalen Hurts' rookie season.
Okay, fair enough. I have taken umbrage. That's right. I have taken umbrage with your disrespect of putting a certain quarterback next to Jalen Hurts and thinking they are even close to each other. Dak Prescott at number 6. I was going to tackle your Mahomes at number 5, but I don't care. Dak Prescott at number 6. You've put Justin. Don't get me wrong. I love Justin Herbert. You've put Justin Herbert at number 4 and Lamar Jackson at number 2 and stuck Dak Prescott next to Jalen Hurts at 6 and 7 respectively.
Absolutely.
Mean, that's a fucking war crime.
Well, unlike you, I don't think he's going to get 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 80,000 yards.
17-game season.
Yeah.
He's going to break
6,000
yards.
I don't think so. Not coming off the injury that he's got. I think you've got to bake that in a little bit as to what he's coming back from and how he plays. So we'll see. As an offense, I think they'll be great. Whether they'll be as great as they were for that 4.5 weeks that they were last year, I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. He could be there. I've actually, as a tier, he's well ahead of Hurts, actually. And I've got him and Mahomes pretty close together. Any one of those three, you can flip them around. Herbert, Mahomes, Prescott, they're all very, very close to each other. So, yeah, Prescott, I've got no issues with where he is there. And I'm only one place off ECR as well. ECR, I've got him at 5. I've got him at 6. So
I'm more shocked by the people you've put above Prescott. That's my issue with the ranking.
Well, Murray should be above him. I think Jackson should
Murray,
be.
Murray, Allen, Mahomes.
Maybe not. Mahomes, I don't see why Mahomes should be. ECR's got Mahomes at 1, and I definitely don't agree with that.
No, Josh Allen, yes. Kyler Murray, yes. Patrick Mahomes, yes. Number 4, Dak Prescott.
Possibly. Yeah, I said those three could easily flip-flop. I don't disagree, but I think I'm quite happy with where he is.
Out of those, so Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, I think have got the 3 highest chances of becoming the QB1. I love Justin Herbert, my dynasty quarterback. He is going to be more so than last year, pocket-based passer. He's not going to do anything with his legs. He hasn't really developed his weapons that much. I mean, he'll get a full season of Eckler that could help him. So maybe I should have been tackling Justin Herbert. I don't like seeing Dak Prescott anywhere.
Herbert's still going to run. He's very athletic. He's still going to run. There's no reason. There's nothing to suggest that he won't run.
The
coaching.
They're not going to make him stay in the pocket. He's going to go for it when he sees the.
It's not going to be designed. Dak has designed runs. Dak has.
He didn't have designed ones last year though.
Dak has 3 great wide receivers to pass to. He's got 2 pass catching running backs, and he's got
he's got Blake Jarwin,
a fit again Blake Jarwin. So that's. I don't know. I would expect him to be a few ranks higher than where he is. I'm just saying. I don't disagree. I think any of those 3 could easily flip flop. I'm not
saying I think he's just a little too horny for Dak Prescott here.
Yeah, well, I was last year. Why should I change my audience?
And look what that did to him. Yeah.
What has? There's nothing has changed in my eyes to stop Dak Prescott being a potential not just potential QB1, the QB1.
Apart from a brand new foot.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay.
It's in the range of outcomes. You're absolutely right that he could.
I mean, I can't object to some of the other ones falling down the rankings. Russell Wilson is probably the one that I agree with you most.
I'm shut down Russell Wilson's even on the list. Honestly,
I thought Joe Burrow would have been.
Any of that top 6 could be anywhere in that top 6, really, in the range of outcomes. I think they are the top 6 quarterbacks. I think all the others are whatever going on below. But I think that top 6, any one of them could be.
We're all in agreement. I think, yeah.
I mean, the only person that could potentially break that top 6, and the only person that could fall out of it, I think Lamar could fall out of it because we've seen what happens when Lamar is bad, and I think Tom Brady could somehow defy all time and end up being a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, to do that, though, it would have to throw around about 50 TDs. Now, he wasn't far that last year because he doesn't do any running, because he doesn't run. So it was close to it, but he will have to throw 50-odd TDs to get into the top 5 because he doesn't get any yardage on the ground.
I think out of all the quarterbacks, and I'm going to blow that up now, all the quarterbacks going in redraft, Tom Brady's the best value out there at the moment for what he could be. Because people are like, he's 200 years old. So so was Tom Cruise in Interview with a Vampire, and that didn't stop him.
No, it didn't.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're primarily focusing on who the Statman has ranked as ones. So I want to take the next one, and I might be stealing one from the villain here, but I would like to know where the Statman gets off by ranking DeAndre Swift as the RB7 for the year. Jamal Williams, kneecap team. It's still the Detroit Lions. WTF, Statman.
I would also like to ask, what the fuck, DeAndre Swift?
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I don't
collective DeAndre Swift. What the fuck? Like you have half the ECR, so you've got him ranked at number 7.
7 to 14. You're right. Yeah.
And you see, is this you're just trying to reassure yourself from your dynasty?
Yeah, because I've got my dynasty. Yeah, it's absolutely.
This is the only logic I can see.
It's the only thing. Here you go. I'll give you the logic then. So. It's now a running team, right? Stafford's gone. You got Jared Giff in there instead.
You give.
We know they're going to run. Campbell is a runner. He's old school. He's got running back. He wants more running backs. I mean, he's got Swift. He's got Jamal. He was already looking at Gurley, and he picked up Jamal Jefferson in the draft as well. So could be going quite committee. But I kind of associate Swift with looking like they're going to use him like Aaron Jones. So you've got Williams in there, and even if they do use him like Aaron Jones in Green Bay, then he's going to get 200 to 220 carries. That's not a massive amount. That's kind of quite low for a running back. Even in a committee, 200 to 220 is kind of what you're looking at. But this guy will easily go at 4.6 yards per carry. That's what he was doing last year. He only played 13 games. He didn't play full time in that. He was used only about 40% of the time when you look at the snaps over each game. It's towards the end where he was getting a bit more usage, only around about 60 to 70%. So I still think he might only be used about 60% of the time, particularly when you got Jamal Williams in there. I think they are going to use him. but he is great as a receiver as well. He brought in 57 targets, so he got 40-odd catches off of that. And again, this is still only in 13 games. So they've got a 17-game season. He manages that, and you're looking at around about that sort of Aaron Jones, 200 carries, maybe 60 to 70 targets, probably around about 60, 65. He's going to be laughing. He got 8 TDs last year on the ground and 2 receiving. So that's 10 TDs in 13 games. He may not quite put it out at that same kind of churn out like that, but even if he got 10 TDs, 11 TDs on the ground, 2 to 3 receiving TDs, which is all perfectly within range, that puts him in at number 7 on the rankings with the points that he would get fantasy-wise. So you've got to think about the kind of Aaron Jones output. That's the kind of area he is. That's the kind of role that I think he's going to get, even with Jamal Williams there. If I just go on to, let me just go on to Detroit for you, just to give you the idea about what kind of level of carries they're all getting.
I was just going to say, on that note, just one thing about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones played for the Packers, and the Packers were winning. 2, the Lions have got the 4th worst strength of schedule. They are in for basically, the lion they are, Mufasa, and the strength of schedule is wildebeest. That's what's happening.
You could definitely look at that. But the other thing about them is that they're going to base everything on the running game. Even when they need to pass it, they're going to run it because they haven't got any receivers. They're shit. There's no one up the street apart from
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, we don't know what we're going to get from him yet, but you can say we've not even seen him play an NFL snap yet, so you can't really go with that. Hawkinson's going to be a decent receiver. He's going to get a lot of the receiving targets. There's not a lot else.
Who's throwing them the ball?
No, it's going to be Guff.
Yeah, it is Guff. So you're right. It is
Swift.
Guff.
200 carries. 220 carries. Jamal Williams will get 140 odd carries. He'll get some receiving targets as well. You got to bear in mind that the receiving is the target, it's PPR, and it's the targets that are going to go and the receptions that Swift's going to get because they haven't got anyone to throw to, so they are going to dump it off to Swift, and he's going to reap the rewards, and that brings him in around the middling ranked 7 area. And I'm right, and everyone else is wrong.
I think there's four of the 5 below him. I would probably put above him. Joe Mixon, I definitely wouldn't because he's going to be injured week 2. So what's the fucking point? Jonathan Taylor, Commissioner, I had a chat about Jonathan Taylor. That is a busy backfield. So busy. And the other 2 are much better pass catchers. Zeke has Dak back. Zeke plays better with Dak.
He does.
Plays so much better. Also, Zeke has lost weight. He's actually going to practice. He's going to the gym. He's looking after himself. He seems to be more focused. I can see Zeke being scary good. Derrick Henry doesn't need passing yards. Derrick Henry gets 3,000 on the ground in 17 games. So I can see Derrick Henry above, Zeke above, Nick Chubb. I think Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb just get the job done as a 1-2 punch, don't they? I can see Nick Chubb being better. I just can't. I don't think DeAndre Swift's going to be bad. I just don't see him being number 7 in the rankings good.
I think there's 2 players that haven't even cracked your RB1s that could. I know one of them you've mentioned, that's Gibson. Yeah, the other one, Cameron Akers. Sean McVay, it's hard for him to talk with the amount of Cam Akers cock he's got in his mouth.
He's gone all the way to the balls.
Literally. He loves that player. And he's... I would feel more confident with Cam Akers than I would with Jonathan Taylor, than I would potentially with Nick Chubb, than I would with DeAndre Swift, than I would with Joe Mixon. I'm surprised, not to hijack this, because I've obviously already raised DeAndre Swift, but it turns out the villain was also going to raise
right on board as well. I knew that was going to be.
But that's so villain collectively. Shall we ask, why do you hate Cam Akers?
So I don't hate Cam Akers. Cam Akers, I mentioned it in the previous rankings to this one. He was one to watch out for that might move up into the rankings. I think he could. Why I don't necessarily think he would, or why he's not there at the moment, is because the Rams are going to be a heavy pass team at the moment. They keep talking up Akers. You do still have Henderson there, Darrell Henderson as well. So he is still a bit of a committee guy as well. McVay at times. I still think it's going to be a real pass first. He loves having Stafford there, and it's going to be more of a downfield passing than they've had before. And that's what I expect. So that's why he's not quite in the carries.
You're also
as much as he was.
You're also missing Mike Davis and the RB4 of last year, David Montgomery, but we won't go into that.
Villain, Montgomery might actually move into that top 12. I do agree with you. He's one of those that I'm on he is on the watch list.
So as Mike Davis should be as well. Villain, do you want to talk about wide receivers? Who have you got qualms? What are your qualms?
I got a feeling we might agree on this one. Mine's kind of a twofer. I don't like Michael Thomas being at 6, but what I hate more is Stephon Diggs being at 7.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
You mean the number 1 wide receiver in football, Stephon Diggs?
Yeah, shut your dirty whore mouth, Statman.
Yeah, what crack were you smoking?
Yeah, he could. I mean, what is he? ECR's 3, isn't it? So... yeah, I'm 4 places down on him. It's not a massive amount. They're all very, very close when you stat them out from 1 to 8. They're all really quite close. So there's not a lot that knocks them in. So it is just your own kind of preference. I have him a little bit further down. I just think second year in, they're going to look a little bit more into the running game. So his targets are just going to dip a little bit, and it's just enough to bring that team down a little bit that drops him into that kind of area, and that's all it is. He could easily move up 2 or 3 places, move down 2 or 3 places. Then
why Michael Thomas at 6 when we don't even have a freaking clue who the quarterback
is? Who the quarterback's going to be? Yeah, that's based on Winston being in there. If Winston comes out, Michael Thomas is going to drop. Probably out of 12.
It's 160 targets, 120 receptions. He's going to have 40 balls over his head.
Yeah, so there's going to be loads of rough targets, and then he could easily, like I say, he could easily drop out of there. But he's still a very, very good receiver. I'd expect him this year to be a more of an effort guy. There's nothing else there really to throw to apart from him and Kamara. We're not sure about tight end. Troutman's the guy that's coming. He was a rookie last year.
I think he's a fishy aspect.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Got that one in there. But yeah, other than that, it's very difficult to find where the target's going to go other than to Thomas. So once you've got Winston in there, and we know that he's a downfield guy, he'll throw 19 touchdowns, but he'll throw 21 interceptions. So at least a lot of these TDs will go, probably about 6 TDs will go to Thomas. He could still get over 100 receptions from him because there's not a lot of other people to throw to there. So yeah, that might keep him in there. But like I say, if Taysom Hill comes in, then that's going to dip drastically.
So first of all, can I just commend you on your ranking of Amari Cooper as a top 10?
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Yeah, that he got in there. That was outrageous.
Correct is what it is. And by the way, full-on Tennessee Titans fan, don't actually like the Cowboys, but I've got such a fantasy hard-on for them, you wouldn't believe. Someone that you appear to have a fantasy hard-on for, though, is Justin Jefferson.
Oh, man, yeah, he's the dude.
A run first tee. So just for listeners,
that run first team that managed to throw him 1,500 yards passing. Yeah, okay.
So you've got him ranked at number 4. You have Jefferson just behind 3 people that we can't really dispute: Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, and DeAndre Hopkins. We can in a way because Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs could easily switch places if Jordan Love is playing. Devontae Adams could switch places all the way down with CeeDee Lamb. Maybe even further down than that.
He could drop well out of there.
He could switch places with Rashad Perryman at this rate.
Absolutely,
It's one of those ones where why are you so rock solid in the genital area for Justin Jefferson?
Because I can see a little bit of a decline from Thielen. I can see him getting more TDs this year. So even if his receptions come down slightly, I don't think they're going to come down a massive amount, but he still put up 1,500 yards. He was still the number 6 wide receiver last year, so he's in that region that we've got him. I could just see the TDs going up, and that would be enough just to nudge him into the top 4. Absolutely.
I mean,
there's absolutely
he's
no
going to
reason why he
get
shouldn't
more
do
than
that.
Stephon Diggs.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah,
That's crap argument. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly. It's in the range of outcomes that he could get more than Diggs. He could. Absolutely.
The villain is not standing for this.
I just look, Justin Jefferson is there with Adam Thielen, Irv Smith, whose role is not going to change in any way to how he was used when Kyle Rudolph wasn't last year, which basically means he's going to be used a fuck ton, is what they're saying. Dalvin Cook running on the game. You say that the Bills are going to try and implement more of a running game. The fucking Vikings already have one.
Exactly. But the Bills don't, and that's the thing. So it's been all Diggs because there's been no running game. So as soon as you throw that running game in there, then nothing's going to change for the Vikings. So it's going to be fine.
There's no talent there with Singletary and Moss in comparison to Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, well, they'll have to do something. Yeah.
Just to put this out there, you've put Josh Allen as your potential QB1. Yet Diggs as the wide receiver 7. I don't see the correlation.
Oh, it's Manny Sanders time, guys. Get excited.
Davis,
it's Beasley.
Beasley Davis is the man.
I didn't realize I had so many high quality wide receiver fucking options. If you flipped Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs around in that order,
you'd feel much better, would you?
I feel fine. That's just fine.
Yeah.
That's just fine.
I feel okay. I just feel like Devonta Adams only dropping from 1 to 2 because of the Aaron Rodgers situation is also a bit like, no, if there's no Aaron Rodgers, there is no Devonta Adams. The end of conversation.
Yeah, I know that. I've already stated that he won't be there.
Yeah.
No Rodgers.
So one person I want to ask you about is outside of your top 12, but we know that you are quite high on.
Yeah.
Why do you still like T. Higgins despite Joe Burrow getting his best friend back and already showing that he wears the 1 because Joe Burrow just needs to know who the number 1 wide receiver is and who he's passed it to. I believe you've got T. Higgins floating around wide receiver 2 territory still. Why do you still like T. Higgins?
I love T.
I traded T. Higgins away, by the way. So
what did you do?
Everybody else zone out. I just need an answer. Cheers.
Why on earth did you get rid of T. Higgins? I can't understand that.
I've got 3 of your top 12 wide receivers on my team. I'm all right.
Joe Burrow is going to throw 600 passes, of which Tyler Boyd is going to see 120 targets. T. Higgins is going to see 105 targets. Jamar Chase is going to see 92 of them amongst that team. That leaves that T. Higgins will end up with 60 catches, 880 yards, something like that. I can see him getting 7 TDs. It's all about the TDs. He is just going to find so much space in the red zone. That's where he's going to get it all from. And it'll be that he's going to be your TD man. So you shouldn't have got rid of him. You should have held on to him.
I was fully
all over the place.
Fully out on T. Higgins just because of the Jamar Chase bromance. And just to say what that trade was, I got a next year first and Mike Davis, and my running back situation was in need of a 1-year rental.
You definitely needed that, but just
Yeah, I've still got DJ Chark as well, and I have hope.
I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are the most garbage organization this year. And that's including the Houston Texans. No, it's not.
There are a number of prove it players out there. I think DJ Chark falls into the prove it category this year. Paris Campbell for me, probably nobody else on the planet, but there are a couple of prove it players. And I think
why is it that took me back to like stag do's and playing a game of Tell 'em?
Tell 'em.
Instead of prove it. Good old fashioned game of Tell 'em.
Speaking
You love T. Higgins. Why don't you tell him, Statman?
Speaking of people who go on stag do's and tell them, looking at the tight end rankings, is there anything that you would like to bring up in particular, Villain?
I think you should go. I went first last time. Why didn't you go first here? Because I think my answers could be different to yours. I think so.
Really?
So why? Just put this out. Why?
Yes. I know which one you're going to bring up.
Why is Hunter Henry?
Oh no! Okay.
No. Okay, no. The other one. I'm not going to go.
No, you can have Hunter Henry. You can have Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I'm not going to go into another rant. I'll let the Villain take that one.
Hunter. No, I'm not taking Hunter Henry.
No. I'm going into Hunter Henry.
No, there's another one that I think the Villain will pick up. But yeah, you're right.
Hunter Henry. You are got him at number 7 above players that the Villa might bring up. But you've literally got Hunter Henry, who's sharing it with Johnny Smith, is injured, is probably not the best pass catcher out of the two, is ECR ranked 16, and you've got him at number 7.
Yeah.
Please, Statman, tell me why.
Why? Okay, so what you've got the tight ends are, you've got 3 tight ends and the rest of them are nobodies. So,
whoa.
Yeah.
4.
All right, I'm joking.
Yeah, Carl Pitts.
But Hunter Henry, so I take him as being the guy that's going to be the sort of between the 20s player, probably for the Patriots. I think he's going to get a lot of pass catches and a few TDs, probably not as much as a red zone target as Smith. I don't think Smith is going to get nearly as many targets or catches as Hunter Henry. I think he's going to be the primary receiver there. And I think he will get enough TDs. And when you look at the Titans, when you get that drop off from the top 3, the next sort of between that 6 and 12 particularly, there's nothing in it on the projections. So it's really just a matter of where you think they might fall. I think the Patriots in particular, and certainly if you bring in Matt Jones, I think he'll be looking for Hunter quite a bit, and I could see that happening. Cam won't last the season. I don't think he's going to get past probably 6 or 7 games before we see Matt Jones. And I think that's where the target's going to start coming towards Hunter Henry.
I don't call him Matt Jones anymore. I call him Bullseye because he's so accurate. Like he's what a pass. I mean, if you can go find the pick 6 video of just Cam Newton throwing interceptions at Matt Jones, but it's so biasly edited, but so good. I enjoy it massively.
So we'll see. Hunter Henry, I don't know.
There's one other person I wanted to ask you about, but I want to see who the villain says first.
Yeah,
and mine's actually probably going to surprise you guys. It's Carp. Okay. No, it's not Carpet. No.
Why is he number 1?
Yeah, unacceptable. I know. No, I'm actually want to talk about Mark Andrews. I feel like last year, maybe it's because I was the Mark Andrews owner. I just feel like last year, the hype that we all had for him never came. So I went back and looked at him, and there were 6 games of the ones he played that were fucking unacceptable, in my opinion. The highest of them being 6.2 points, full PPR. Lamar Jackson is apparently going to be throwing the ball more. They are working on Lamar, the pass thrower this year, which is amazing considering what's his job. Hold on. Quarterback. He's a quarterback. Yes, very good.
Not a running back. He is a quarterback.
But Lamar Jackson has new shiny wide receiver toys to go with Hollywood Brown. He's got Sammy Watkins. He's got Rashad Bateman. He has those other options there. I don't think Lamar Jackson being the guy that he famously got one of the lowest scores ever on the Wonderlic test, didn't he, for a quarterback? For a first-round quarterback. He had one of the lowest scores recorded by a quarterback in the Hype. I don't know if Lamar Jackson has the capability to sustain himself as a runner, J.K. Dobbins in the running game, 3 wide receivers that are pretty good wide receivers to have as your wide receiver room, and the tight end. I see Mark Andrews still being top 10, but I can't see him getting more than Kyle Pitts, TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant, Dallas Goedert, those ones in particular. I can't see him doing better than those. I can see him in that kind of 7-8 range rather than the 4, just because I literally think that there's going to be too much for Lamar Jackson. And they're doing it all with a new quarterbacks coach because that guy somehow got the job at the Houston Texans as the head coach.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think mostly this is going to come from because he had a bit of an off year. But I think they did.
When he was good, he was good last year. When he was good, he was good.
He was good. And I think the consistency is going to come back a little bit. I think they are going to look to pass a little bit more. And we know that Lamar Jackson is comfortable with Mark Andrews. When he had his MVP season and he threw 300 TDs or whatever it was, Mark Andrews got 10 or 11 of them. I don't necessarily think he's going to get as many as that, but I could see him getting around about that 8 TD mark. And I still think he's going to be a kind of a focal point of the more increased passing. So although he finished around about probably, was it 6, tight end 6? So not far. I think just a little bit of improvement there with the TDs will end up nudging him a little bit higher. Yeah, I think Kyle Pitts can push him. We've already seen what's going on there with the trade, and we don't quite know what a rookie tight end's going to do because they've not done as much as this in forever. TJ Hawkinson, I mean, I've stated in the article that he could actually be in the next elite. I think he could even push into that top 3, potentially, depending on what Detroit do. They might be good enough, might not be. So I've kind of got him in that 6 area. But I think Mark Andrews, there's no reason why he couldn't be the number 4 tight end again. And coming out of Otis already, they say that he is literally catching everything as well that's thrown his way. And we know that he can. He's athletic enough, and we've seen him do it before. So that's why I've just got him where he is.
Can I just quickly ask you why you hate Tyler Higbee, considering you said it's going to be a pass-first offense for the Rams?
Because I think he doesn't really target tight end that much. Stafford, he's not been historically looking at the tight end. I don't think even...
Did it with TJ Hawkinson, didn't he?
Did it with TJ Hawkinson last year?
No, he didn't play that much. Not really. I would say that for Stafford, Higbee was supposed to have that massive breakout. He's had that one bit where he did 5 games where he went, yeah, look, we found the best tight end in the world ever. And then last year he was just proper average. And I just think he's going to be proper average again. In that
he was
team.
Splitting time with Gerald Everett. He's the one guy now. I don't
know. I think they'll just bring that Bryce, whatever his face is, and they'll have the same situation, but just with another guy. He's just a jag, man.
That's the thing. I think he is just as likely to succeed as Hunter Henry due to the fact that Hunter Henry's got Johnny Swift there. That's the only thing I would say. It seems, especially like, not to question everybody on here, Evan Ingram. Yeah. I mean, but then you're right.
He's outside of he's around about where he should be. He's kind of there-ish.
Outside of the top 4 tight ends, the rest of them are crapshoot anyway.
It's very difficult.
And who's the 4th on that list? Kyle Pitts.
Oh, that Kyle Pitts, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's probably a little bit crazy on the list, Ollie, is Blake Jarwin. I mean, I've got him in at 10, but his ECR...
No objection to that from either of us.
His ECR is 19, and I've got him at 10.
I wish I
released
John Smith instead of Blake Jarwin. That's what I wish I did.
Yeah. Blake Jarwin is still available on the waivers now because I cut him.
He could be pretty good because he was supposed to have that breakout last year. He played 1 game. He's always shared time, whether it's with Witten or whoever else. And now it's like, is this the year? He's going to have to share a little bit of time with Dwight Schultz. Dwight Schultz? That doesn't sound right.
No, that's not.
That's isn't that Mad Murdoch?
It is Dalton Schultz.
Dalton Schultz. Dwight Schultz. Dwight Schultz is Howling Mad Murdoch in the 18th. But yeah, Dalton Schultz. Yeah, he's going to have to share a bit of time with him instead. Even though we like the Mad Murdoch.
I like Blake Jarwin because he looks like his idea of fun is drinking beers and then shooting the cans afterwards. That's what I like about him.
He looks like he would be on a giant slip and slide into a lake.
Yeah. Of course, Tanyan will drop out of this top 12 if
I'm not in on Tanyan right now, actually. I mean, tight end is sketchy. I've decided to commit to other roles in fantasy football. If I don't get those top 4, I'll just pick somebody at the end of it. I will treat them in the way that I treat defense going forward. If I don't get Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Kittle, or Kyle Pitts, and I don't think anybody's getting Kyle Pitts in any league that the villain plays in, number 1 overall, Kyle Pitts.
You're saying that he's picking number 1 overall?
I will be if I pick Kyle Pitts with my
next year, the year after. There you have it. That's my rankings.
That is, there we go. That is a cracking break. Obviously, we just talked about some of the top 12s. We talked to some of the players, but the Statman's rankings are being processed. Do I have the sound for Statman's rankings being processed, or have I got rid of that really annoying jingle? Oh, there it is. That's them being processed as we speak.
Favorite jingle? What are you talking about?
It's really not as sexy as that makes it sound. I literally am just screen grabbing and resizing.
But I mean, in that case, that sounds like it's more of a.
Yeah. Is that a screen grabbing funky sound? Sure.
But thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Statman, for all of the hard work you put into the rankings every year. So joining us for the Early Rankings show, for listening, give us your opinions on Twitter at TFAFP. Via Instagram on that FAF podcast, and make sure you go to fantasyamericanfootball.co.uk where you can find the Statman's rankings. We will be back in 2 weeks' time where we will be discussing other fantasy football things that I have just closed my notes page on to say what that was about. So we will be discussing.
It's just an hour of Sam Darnold.
We're going to be doing the summer hype train next.
It's an hour of Sam Darnold.
So we're going to be talking sleepers. We're going to be talking sleepers and breakouts to give you all a chance to get ready for best ball leagues, which are going to be drafting heavily in July. But for now, it's a big old cheerio for myself from the Statman.
Cheerio, guys,
and the fantasy villain.
Big old cheerio. I'm down here this time. Excellent. You're up there. How fun.
I'm here.
And just everybody enjoy the Euros if you're watching the Euros. Enjoy the prep for fantasy football and minicamp drama and Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. Look after yourself. Stay safe. And we will catch you on the can't find the soundtrack on the flip side.